Guys, I am back. Don't know what happened there. Don't know what happened there. The signal just cut. But you know what? I'm going to get through what I need to get through, guys. I am back. The feed just cut right there. But you know what? Probably what I have to say here today. The enemy don't want me to get it out, but I will get it out. So I'm back. I am back, guys. So today, yeah, we're going on just for into it, about 3 minutes into it. My live feed got cut. I don't know what happened there, but I am back. I'm going to start over, guys. I'm going to start over. So today we want to talk about obedience. We're talking about obedience today, right? Being obedient, right? So when I was saying, just like you got your children, if they're obedient, you can find ways to reward them, right? You can find ways to reward them if they're obedient. But if they're not obedient, you're going to have to discipline them. They're missing the curfew. They're not listening to you. They're doing what they want to do, not doing great in school, not listening to the teachers. You're going to discipline them, right? Same thing at your job, right? You're doing well at your job, following all the rules of the company. Your bosses then going to find ways to reward you. They're going to find ways to reward you, right? Just like the laws of the land I was saying too. You're doing right. You're following all the laws. You have nothing to worry about, right? You doing, being a law-abiding citizen, you have nothing to worry about, right? But if you don't, now there's consequences if you're not following the laws and being obedient, right? So I want you to keep that in mind, keep that concept in mind as we go into these scriptures right here. Keep the concept in mind as we go into these scriptures here right now, right? Look like I lost everyone. But okay, you guys can get it on the replay when I share it then if you then make it back on. But so let's look at Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 7. Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 7. Let's look at that. And I want to keep that concept in mind that if you do good, you get reward. And if you don't, there's some consequences to it. So let's look first at the blessings of obedience. Blessings of obedience, where he said, your tongues and your fields will be blessed. Your tongues and your fields will be blessed. Your children and your crops will be blessed. Your tongues and your fields will be blessed. Your children, right? That's big to me, right? Your children and your crops will be blessed. So he's saying he can give you your crops, right? And your children will be blessed if you follow the laws. The offspring of your herds and flocks will be blessed. And this is huge for those folks back in the days, because a lot of times your wealth was measured by the amount of livestock you had. So if he's telling you he can bless the offspring of your herds and your flocks, that's saying a lot. That tell me that's what's just like in today. You're saying I'm going to increase your finances, right? You say your fruit baskets and your breadboards will be blessed. I mean, you're going to always have food in your house, right? And then wherever you go and whatever you do, you will be blessed. You know, some people that touch everything, they say you touch everything and it turn to gold, right? So you will be blessed in all those areas. Then he said, the Lord will conquer your enemies when they attack you. So even when you follow the laws, he's saying, even your enemies, I'm going to give you victory over your enemies when they attack you. They will attack you from one direction, but they will scatter from you in 7 different directions, right? So he's saying, you follow the laws, and I can give you all this protection. I can protect your finances. It's not just giving you some money. I don't know. This internet kind of messing up. I hope this broadcast is going through properly, because the internet kind of messing up where I'm here. Let me see if I change the position, right? Tessa, good morning. Good morning. I know if I'm having some internet problems today. But yes, I hope you can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can hear me, because I had to restart and I lost some people. But yes, so he's saying, we're talking about obedience. So he's saying he's going to give you the full package of blessings in all the different areas. You will be blessed, right? So now let's look at, if you don't follow the laws, what happens, right? If you do not follow the laws, what will happen, right? So this is Deuteronomy 28, 15 through about 20. We can read 15 through about 20. Cindy, good morning. So he said, a curse is for disobedience, right? So he said, but if you refuse to listen to the Lord your God and do not obey all the commands and decrees I'm giving you today, all these curses will come on overwhelm you, right? So it pretty much is the opposite of the blessing. So the people who just come on here, just read the blessings if you follow the law. And this is pretty much the opposite now of the blessing. Say your tongues and your fields will be cursed, right? You say Let me read from 15 first. He said, but if you refuse to listen to the Lord your God and do not obey all the commandments and decrees I'm giving you today, all these curses will come and overwhelm you. So here was the curses that will overwhelm you. Is your tongues and your fields will be cursed, right? He's saying your tongues and your field will be cursed. Your fruit basket and breadboards will be cursed. So he's saying you don't have much food in your house, right? You're going to have much food in your house. Your children and your crops will be cursed. That's a big one, right? In the first, when you follow the law, he said you can bless your children and your crops. But now he's saying your children and your crops will be cursed. The offspring of your herds and your flocks will be cursed. I mean, we explained that up there, that back in the days, your herd, your flocks, that used to be a measure of wealth. So in applying to us today, if he telling you your herds and your flocks will be cursed, I mean, is your finances now. Your finances will be cursed, right? So whatever you, wherever you go and whatever you do will be cursed. And here's the big part in 20. He said, the Lord himself will send on you curses, confusion, and frustration in everything you do until at last you're completely destroyed for being evil and abandoning me, right? So you might say, man, this is just something we talk about back in the Old Testament in the Bible. How would that apply to my life today? So let's look at it and see and break it down and get some understanding how this applies to you today, right? He's saying if you follow the laws, he's going to bless you in all these areas. If you don't, right? So let's take a simple law. Let's take a simple law. Let's say adultery, right? Say thou shalt not commit adultery. And I know a lot of people tell themselves, okay, I won't get catch. I can do it. I'm clever. But anyhow, for this scenario, you get caught doing it. And your spouse, whether it's husband or wife, whichever way it goes, say, you know what, I can't take this. I'm going to leave. No, right? He's saying your fruit baskets or your breadboards will be cursed. More, this is like having food in the house, right? Or your finances, he's saying your flocks and your herds will be cursed. How much more hard it is for a single parent. Now, those two parents together have to pay one rent, one food bill, one light bill. Now, if you guys go apart, right? Both parties got to pay a rent. They got to pay their own light bill, their own water bill. They got to owe all their own bills to pay now, right? So it's less money to go around, right? Less money. So that's how your finances getting cursed here, right? And your children, how much effect that have on your kids? How much effect that have on your children now when that happen? When you say your children and your crops will be cursed, right? How much effect that have on your kids, right? Right, and then you go and said the confusion and frustration. How frustrating it is, single parents out there. How frustrating it is that you got to pretty much do everything by yourself. How frustrating, how confusing and frustrating that is. Because, and let's say it started out because of the infidelity and you split up. How can somebody break the law, right? That's what he's saying here. If you break the law, this is what's going to happen. So how confusing and frustrating that is, that you have to do everything by yourself, right? How much? So when you look at this and saying, oh, this is just a little thing back in the days, this is going to apply to me. This is how it applies to our life, right? This is how it applies to our life. It's just like the example I was using in the laws of the land. If you have a warrant, you ducking and running from the police. As soon as you see the police, you trying to run and go the other way, you're uncomfortable, you're not comfortable, I don't want to go here because there's a lot of police here, or right? But if you don't have a warrant and you follow the laws, you're free to go wherever you go. You not thinking about police. So you see now you're frustrated, and you got to think everywhere you go when you break in the law, right? So that's what he's saying here. So obedience. So he's saying it's better for you to obey, be obedient to these laws, guys. Be obedient to the laws. And I'm not coming in front of you as like no saint. Like I tell people, a lot of the mistakes I made, and when I see the light, I said I'm trying to educate people, and if I can deter some people, how much if I can deter from making some of those same mistakes, I'm successful, because I know a lot of these things before I know, like he said, the lack of knowledge, right? The lack of knowledge. People perish for the lack of knowledge, and you don't have the knowledge, and you're going on just thinking this don't apply to me, and This is how it applied to your life. And you could plug in any other law, breaking it, and see theft. If you thief, if you steal, what's gonna happen? You might go to jail. Same thing, same effect on your family, the finances. It come on and on. It affect your kids and on and on. And you could take other laws and plug in the same scenarios and see how it's going to affect you, right? So obedience is a big one, guys. We gotta be obedient. We gotta be obedient. It's so much more rewards for being obedient, Father, to the laws of the land, to the Bible, to everything, right, guys? So I'm gonna leave that with you guys today, but obedience is the word of the day. Let's go out there and be obedient, guys, and get the blessings, and don't bring these curses on ourselves, right? So have a great day, and we'll talk again on Tuesday.